Well, there you are. Welcome to my lair, Charlie Greer podcast again today. I was just trying to live stream, it wouldn't let me. Like, who cares? Again, it might be on my side, who knows? Today, we're going to talk about Venice, California. It used to be one of my favorite places, but it's changed. I used to live in Venice, love Venice Beach. The boardwalk was one of my favorite things until it turned into like a homeless encampment. First, it turned into like a gang uh, yeah, it was bad. It used to not be, but of course the gangs have to come in. And what they would do, they'd have these like CDRs. They would like burn CDs of their music and whatever. Uh, and man, if they touched you with it, you better buy it. I mean, I'd walk by, da da da. They're trying to put it on my chest and drop it. And so many tourists I've seen bought it, and then hey, there's nothing on. Like they're slinging blank CDRs, like burnable CDs. And in CD, who listens to CDs? My last album that came out, CD that came out, I've got like a box, probably 500 copies, maybe more. Yeah, I didn't do that well. Uh, we're moving on. So, Venice, California, one of the coolest. Certain things about California were cool. So on the boardwalk, say on the business side, all those businesses they were paying like a war debt rent every month. Across the walk, if you're on the beach side, you could throw down a blanket and be selling whatever your art, whatever. Didn't need a permit. I mean, they tried to get, hey, you need a permit. Nobody had a permit. I used to go down there and sell stuff. Matter of fact, that was my go-to if I ever got like to some financial stuff. I could just go down there and sell art, do henna tattoos, whatever. Many nights where we'd go to the dollar store, get like these little canvases, paint on there like Venice or Hollywood or whatever, and just make about 50 of them and take donations. Well, that's another thing. The donation. Well, the donations start at 20. Well, I'll take five. Always start high because remember you can't go. Yeah. Well, if you say five, you can't. Well, I don't know what to know. You got to start high and then go. And there was a bar there, and it switches names. But it was right open to the boardwalk. It's close to the beach as you can get to have a drink. And it wasn't that big, and a lot of times it was crowded. But I like to get right on the rail by the boardwalk and grab a Corona or Tecate or whatever they're having specials on, and grab just like watch the sun. I loved it at the end, the sunset, like at dusk. And I did art shows at Venice too. But I was living in like, I think it was Canoga Park or Reseda, somewhere like pretty far from Venice. And I started dating this girl, and she lived on Electric Avenue, which is like Abbot Kinney is kind of like a main drag before you get to the Venice canals. And Abbot Kinney, it comes and goes. It used to be bad, then it was good. Now it's too rich, and it'll go bad again. Whatever. But she lived behind Abbot Kinney on Electric Avenue, and I moved in. We're shacking up, and cool area. Back then, you could just walk around, and people were having parties and go down to the canals and good times. And I was living there, and I started working at Abbott's Habit, which was a coffee shop, like a really cool coffee shop. And there's celebrities coming in, they're getting their coffee. Julia Roberts, all these people. It's funny how like the big celebrities are like really nice, and then some like D-list dude, like what was his name, Vincent Gallo. I like Vincent Gallo, but man, and I guess he thought he was he was always using like fake names. I'm Joey. Yeah, you're Joey. That's who you are. He always had some kind of scared looking model with him, like, But I like Vince. He was cool. I mean, I like his art. He's one of those dudes that looks down Like I wasn't about to say, yeah, I'm an artist too. Here we're making coffee. But I started as a part timer. Then I got to really Noah and Nina, the people I shouldn't say names, but they owned the place. I got to know them, got to know everybody. Next thing I know, they're like, "Hey, we're opening one on Sunset. You want to manage it? Help us up?" Yeah, I moved over there. But before I did, living in Venice, I mean, again, my girlfriend and I would just walk either down to Abbot Kinney or walk to the Venice canals. And the Venice canals, it's set up like the Venice canals in Italy. It's like these canals and nice they're little places, but they're expensive. I mean, they're millionaire, you know. And if there's a park, people, the door's up. Hey, just walk on in. One night we were out there, and it was a mother and a daughter, like rich, eccentric, topless. Hey, come on into the party. My girlfriend's like, we ain't going in there. I was like, man, we're going in. We are. And it turned out to be great. She's like, I'm glad you drugged me in here. They had catered food, and I think it was for a World Series or something. I remember they were watching some kind of game. I think it was baseball. And yeah, we just fit right in. Next thing you know, you got friends, and you can get you can paddle around. I don't know if they still do it, but and there's celebrities that live Love Street, the Door song, where he climbs up in that movie where he climbs up the tree, gets on the top porch. That's there. And it still looks, you can still climb up on that porch. And Venice Boulevard, just a bunch of freaks and everything you could think of. And the beach, Harry Carey or Harry Perry, whatever the guy, skateboarding around, like rollerblading around, playing guitar, message from another world. You know, I think about him is he'd been doing that for a long time. You know, he just playing the same song, a message from another world, message from another world. You know, he had a guitar on his little amp, battery powered amp with a turban on and like roller and wanting tips. And I got to know him. And one night I was leaving, it was he was taking, and we were talking, and he's like, I was following to his car. And people feel sorry for him. Don't. Because I was the parking lot there near the beach. He goes up and he's like, beep, beep, beep. He's got like a $90,000 Mercedes or BMW or whatever it was, electronic top. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, man, I make bank. He's making like $1,000 a day, maybe more on a good day. Hey, he might be, cool guy. I mean, he would always like hit on my girlfriend, whatever. That happens. But then it got to the point where the dude, like the meanest looking pit bulls you've ever seen, and Muscle Beach and all this, it kind of got rough. But even a buddy of mine, he too would go there. Like, say you're short on rent or whatever, just go to Venice Beach and throw down a blanket. Like, you don't want to get like in the main area because there's people that have been doing that forever, and you show up early. Like, hey man, you're in our spot. Okay, I'll move down to the slow end of the boardwalk, which I would do. You still make good money. I mean, I was selling some kind of pieces of art. Again, you want to sell stuff. It's for tourists. You put like Venice Beach or Hollywood or LA, or make it look like, oranges and blues are good. The ocean, sea. And, you're busy looking up. There's people coming up. And there's Natalie Portman, like the actress, and her mother. And I don't think they bought anything. I think they tried to. I gave them the hard. Come on now. And the cops would run you off for no reason. Like, you'd see the cops coming and think, man, what's going on? There's all these people. And then they come up to you. And there's 1,000 other people. And they're like, you got a permit. You just get up, go. What? And the vendors, people out there on their blanket, now they have tents. They look like it's a store. You have to be on the beach side, the grass side, or the sand side. They had my back, man. If he goes and we have all got, you're gonna come after him. You're gonna come after me. I don't got a permit either. Kick me out, and then escort you away. Like, who? Why would you just me? I guess I don't even know if they like throw something against the wall, but just pick somebody. Probably didn't know. Again, I didn't give a fuss. It's like, okay, here I'm gone. Bye. Huh? but I get it. The next day, I'm there and they didn't kick me out. So you could do like a couple of days, any day. You'll get weekends are the best, but you could uh, and what I would do, I wouldn't do it. I'd just get enough to like survive for a month and then stop. I don't want to be because man, the sun is brutal. I mean, I didn't have a tent or a whatever. It's had a cap and a sunglasses. Then you have to have somebody walk. You want to do it with two people or people because I got to go to the restroom or I got to go get a bottle of water. You know, people steal your stuff. But when I lived on Electric Avenue at the time, the gang, my girlfriend actually got jumped by a girl gang. And I don't know if it was the same people, but later on, like a year later or something, they found out that the real estate companies were hiring these gangs to beat people up to move them out because she had a rent control. So she'd been there since like the 90s, man, like 92. So it was a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, like back house, duplex, whatever. $750 a month. Now that was everybody else is paying like you can't even imagine what they're paying. So they didn't like us because everybody knew like you got rent. So she got jumped, and she eventually moved. And then what's his name? The kid that played Frodo in those movies. He moved like 2 doors down. And he was a cool enough kid. I mean, he had, they were building, like by the time I left, they were building all kinds of glass and metals, huge millionaire, But he moved in, forgot his name, Frodo, whoever played Frodo. He was cool. He would, at the time I had a dog named Possum. And he wouldn't remember he apologized, but he loved Possum. Possum, bring it Possum. And you are, and I'm Charlie. Oh, that's right, Charlie. Yeah. A month later, every day, Possum. What is it? Is it Greg? No, it's Charlie. He never could get my name. And he would have like patio parties and stuff, and he had lamps hanging in his trees. It was cool. He was cool. One night we actually down at Abbott's Habit, I was out on the patio, and hey, where's Possum? See, he could remember my name. Where's Possum at? And you, Craig, maybe? Now Charlie. Oh, that's right. You're our neighbor. Sit down. And we had a smoke. Cool dude. But that was the turning point when he moved in, bless his heart. But it's like he had money back then, a lot of money. That was kind of the turning point. Like people are moving in, like, oh shit. We ain't gonna. But I also was painting. I did a lot of my best painting. The one that I have hanging up right here, I did in Venice. Something about that art, it's just. And I was working Abbott's Habit. I started curating. They had not a gallery, but they had art hanging on the wall. I curated those group shows. And I ended up doing, once I moved to Sunset, Abbott's Habit on Sunset, I did both for a while. And they weren't paying me. It's just if I could, whatever money I could hustle. Like I took like 10, 20% of whoever sold stuff. It's a lot of, even from Hollywood to Venice and back, and then you're working. I stopped doing it. I gave them up. And we had some, you'd be surprised who wants to hang there. And their prices, oh my God. Pardon me, I'm like, this is a coffee shop, right? $5,000 for, huh? Yeah, good times. Good times. And Electric Avenue is just like a one-way. Once you pass Robertson, I think it's Robertson. Yeah, then you get into like proper Venice, like near Venice Beach. That's a weird kind of world there. And when you're living in Venice, and these people are like, I don't do business with people that live. I haven't crossed Robertson in years. Like, what? You haven't? Just staying there. Like it was a thing. They're bragging like, oh, I haven't crossed Robertson in 7 years, 10 years. You didn't pass Robertson. Huh? What? See? I was auditions where I won't cast anybody outside of Robertson. I'm like, you know how many people you just cut off? Forget about the world, basically. All of LA, besides Robertson area. And some of it went to, again, it's sketchy sometimes. And some of my best art shows I ever did were these like I don't know if you call it a mansion, but like 3 or 4 level, just like kind of gaudy with like a fire pit on top of the roof, and it's just, and everybody had like a level, like that level you hang your art in your room, in the rooms and stuff. Great times, man. Yeah, just awesome. And you think that's going to be, but if you don't sell as much, I mean, when people steal your art, who cares? But Venice, I miss Venice. If I had the money, because nowadays, and also it became a homeless encampment. It was bad, man. Rats and just horrible. How they would, why would you screw up such a good thing? Why would you, you know, let it happen? I'm sure in their mind, like, oh well, see these people. No, man, you gotta. Hey, you can't. I mean, it got bad. It was, you could not sit at this tents and tarps, and you couldn't go. I mean, and then with the lockdown, oh, bro, it popped off. It was just, it's sad because that was another reason why I left Los Angeles, because the Los Angeles that I loved, I lived there 24 years, is gone. I mean, it looks the same, some of it, but it's not the same. Even on Abbott Kinney, like, because it was bad. Then Abbott's Habit moved in there, and then people, are there used to be drive-bys on Abbott Kinney, but it started getting better, and then Abbott's Habit kicks off, and these little pizza places and stores. But then it got to, I mean, I walked in this one store, and they're like, yeah, designer jeans, like the cheapest jeans we have is like $1,500. Like, how many? What? How many pair of jeans do you have to sell a day to cover the astronomical rent? Probably a lot. And they only had so many pair of jeans, and then they were spaced apart. Like, huh, what? And they were stupid looking. It looked like somebody to be zapped, whatever. But zazzled in. I don't even know. It's early. Forget. But it's a crying shame that I don't know, maybe they cleaned it up. I hadn't been there in years. For one, we were locked down for about 2 years. And before that, it was in the parking. See, there was a certain area I would park, and I would just walk. I'd walk a couple blocks to get down to Venice Beach, and knew where not to. Because if you're in that little boardwalk area in Venice Beach, it's compact. And you go a couple more blocks, it's just nothing. Houses, beach at whatever, little apartment, studios. Last time I was down there, was just all medical marijuana places, and they were slinging medical marijuana, and you could get a week or a day medical marijuana if you're a tourist. You could, because at the time you needed like a license. Now it's probably just they're just walking with a big duffel bag. I've seen these girls with a big double bag selling joints for like $5. Yeah, I'll take 2. We see. Yeah, it's honey dipped, keef, and I don't know. But one of my favorite things to do is just not to get drunk, but to have just like a few beers, either during the day or at like when the sun's going down. There's just something about sitting on Venice Boulevard or Venice, the boardwalk, and it's just cool. And I honestly, I would never party because I didn't want, I'm driving. I'd have like a beer or two and go. Or when I lived there, I'd walk. A few of us would walk. But it's the bar right on the corner at the end of the boardwalk, and it's open. Like it's just, there's a ledge there with like these, and you can sit there, and it gets popping off. I mean, there's people. You get there at 11 a.m. and there's they're partying. These tourists just having a good time. I'll miss it. And I'm sure I'm going to go back to California. It didn't I'm never going back. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to live there, but, say if my producer ends up selling one of my scripts or something, I'll go back, go to Venice. It used to be so cool. It was Tug. I got at least got the chance to live there. I lived there for I don't even know, 6 months, a year. And it's just different kind of thing. People are more bohemian and open-minded, and there's artists, and there's George Carlin's at the coffee shop. It's just cool. And the food, oh my God, the big dollar. Now they're probably, it was $1 slice of cheese pizza. Oh man, good too. And then around the corner, like down off the boardwalk, this little hole in the wall, it was like an Indian restaurant. And I get pupusas or whatever they are, like these fried. They have like curried potatoes and peas, but don't get the sauce. If they're that they like, you want some sauce? At first, like, yeah, man, it was the hottest shit. I mean, I thought I was gonna die. So like, don't be no sauce. So I'd grab a couple of those, $1 pizza, and those were only like $1 each. So you spend like $3 to $4 or $5. You could eat for like 2 days off that. I love doing that. I would drive, even if I lived in like wherever, I would drive to Venice just to eat the pizza and the potato, whatever, with these Indian. Amazing. Take my dog Possum, walk her down the boardwalk. Oh, Possum. Yeah, good times. I'm going to miss those times, man. I'm going to miss it. But it'll come back. All things must pass. They will get rid of. I know. I watched a video on YouTube about they were cleaning up Venice. But they had let them literally start a homeless encampment. And it was endless. Crazy, man. Why would you, huh? I know we were locked down, but shit. Why would you want to turn a bad thing, good thing? Huh? Maybe they want to like make it bad and mow all that down and build something else, a Starbucks complex or something. Maybe. I know they're going to tear down all the Hollywood Highland. They've already got that plan. Or what they might be even doing, I don't know. They were going to literally make and buy up the streets and stuff and build this big complex for shopping and hotels and whatever, and you'd have to take a tram or train. I mean, they're going to buy up the streets. How do I know this? Because I used to work on Hollywood Boulevard, and I've talked to these. I was a salesman on the market. Hey, everything's $5, and everybody's coming by. I knew everybody. And some of these board, with their tablets and whatever, now zoning, and it's zoning. And I go, "What are you guys doing?" Oh, nothing. I mean, finally. They end up telling, like, see all this around? It's going to be gone. Even maybe the man's trying to, like, everything, just mow it all down, buy up the streets and everything. I mean, right off Hollywood Boulevard is Hollywood High, like a block away. You're going to tear that down? I don't know. I mean, and they were about to do it before the pandemic. Maybe they still are. And that's another thing I don't like about LA. When I got there, thank God I got to see like old Hollywood. I mean, I got there kind of late, like March of '98. I moved there, but I got to see all this old funky stuff and cool little bars and just everything. They just, they some people just want to ruin a good thing. And Venice, everything turned into a homeless encampment, especially Venice. It was bad. I mean, they'd have a tent or some kind of tarp tent, whatever, and it would burn, and they just leave it there. And, there was rats. I mean, nobody wanted to go there. Tourists, I mean, Venice Beach is one of the most popular tourist attractions, I think, in the world. Why would you want to mess that up? And then who has the power to be able to have that? Well, I'm just going to is it like a committee of dipshits? Well, we're the dipshit committee, and we, or is it something more nefarious? Like, yeah, man, we just turn it bad, and then we can go in there and buy it cheap, and we'll tear it all down and build a Starbucks complex or whatever, because that's what they're going to. It's going to be like a. If you're out in California, if you're ever out there, well, you want to go to Venice Beach. I mean, that's one of the stops. That's the main stop. That's the first thing I did besides go to the Rainbow, is like Sunset Strip at Venice Beach. And this walk up and down. They got cool back in the day. They'd have like 3 T-shirts for $10, and you buy a bunch of them and send them to your friends and your mom or whoever. And kind of cheap clothes. I used to get shoes and stuff. Like some of it's expensive, but some of it was like wholesale. They also had like chiropractors with chiropractic for like $10. You get 10 minutes where they just like get all the lactic acid out of your neck and back. It hurt while they're doing it, but man, you felt so much better. Then you go have a beer at the bar, beer 2, 3. Then hit the pizza as big as your head, like this huge slice that won't fit on a paper plate. It's all hanging over. And just in your Indian little fritters. That's a good day. Those are good days. That was my thing for years. I used to go for some reason I picked Wednesday. I was like, well, I don't want it to be too busy. I don't want to be on the weekend. Wednesday's more civilized. I can park and walk. It's still busy. But that was my thing. I'm getting up every Wednesday for years, every Wednesday. Sometimes more than Wednesday, but. And then the kind of group, the gang guys with their CDs and this and that and everything. You got to be careful. Even as a vendor, you have to put your money in your pocket, deposit it in the, ATM. You don't be walking around like, I just made a bunch of money. No, you don't. You don't want to. You want to tell about, oh man, I did shitty that. I didn't make shit. I owe money. Act like you're pissed. You made $700. There was days where I made like 300, 700. Like what? See, come back the next day, make a little bit more, and then it's like, how do you put that on your resume? Well, so what do you do? Well, when I need money, I just go throw down a blanket and sell my art. I made the mistake one time, and a friend of mine, we went downtown LA and bought these dolls, and then we said, you can't resell stuff. They kicked it. No, go. But right now, I moved to Illinois. There's nothing here really. It isn't bad, but it's just like, I would love to spend like an evening or a day at Venice. You realize again, can you go? How is it? Is it safe? I don't know. It wasn't for a while. But I would see always JJ Walker, Dynamite. I'd see him all the time. I guess he lives down there. And he doesn't like you going up saying Dynamite. I've seen that too. He's just like, hey man, don't come at me that way. I get it. Just think if that was your life every day, people were saying that to you. George Carlin, I'd see Julia Roberts, I'd see everybody, and all these actresses and actors. I don't really, remember their name. And get invited to parties. Like some of that kind of looks like hippie-ish. Some girl, yeah, we're having a party at my place. It's over on so and so. And you get there and you're like, what? How does she have this big place? Oh, she inherited money. Okay, good for her. The funny thing, I'll end on this. So I was dating and living with my girlfriend, working for Abbott's Habit. Then I went to Hollywood to open up and work in the one on Sunset, which was a totally different vibe. One of the owners of the Abbott Habit ended up dating when we split. He was, hey, guess who I'm dating? Who? Really? That's small world. Small world. And of course, he has all this money, by then I was dating somebody, who knows? I didn't care. We're buddies. If I saw him now, we'd be, hey, how you doing? Eskimo brother. I was always cool with people. I know how to communicate. Just be myself, not trying. I don't want anything extra. People can tell. Because everybody's coming at him. I don't know. They got all these angles. No, I'm just who I am. And people love me at the Abbott's Habits, both of them. Because I would just, sometimes you have to kick people out. Even rich people, like powerful people, like you can't be beaten up, whatever you're doing. So I look, man, it ain't me. Look, I'm just a messenger. They're not allowing you back in. What do you mean they're not? How much money I spent? Okay, let's cut you a deal. Look, I'll tell you what. I pretty much know what you want every day. Just stand out front. Give me the ha ha ha. If there's a line, you can't be all. I'll get to you, and I'll bring you your food outside. Thank you, like that kind of stuff. I didn't have to do that. But for one, I knew he was a powerful, rich guy. I didn't want him to concentrate on me. Like, I'll do what I have to do. And he did spend money. You went on. And he invited me to parties. He had a mansion. And I was like, no. By then, I just didn't. And one of the people, or a few of the people that I work with, they went. So I went home and did, or maybe I had an art show. I don't remember. But when I came back to work, they were like, Charlie, how did you not go? You not believe how nice this place. It was so awesome. It's just like, well, I mean, how many mansion parties I've been to? The thrill is gone. The thrill is gone. How many more mansion parties do I have to go to? I mean, these people were younger than me. One of them is actually older, but you just kind of get bored with the whole mansion party. I mean, how many do you have to? Also has some foresight. The next thing that's happening is a hangover, a black eye. Who knows? But I miss it. I hope they've cleaned it up. I hope the people in Venice are amazing, good people, artists. It's always been kind of bohemian, artsy kind of thing. I hope it's doing good. I hope to see everybody there soon or sometime. I love y'all. Again, I'm doing this every day. Be blessed. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Cheers.